Hello, my name is Andrew Zelgert, and I write allegorical stories. I have been absent for the past year and a half, learning and experiencing life, both good experiences and personal hardships. Today I come renewed and ready to continue my journey with you through my storytelling. The team at Zelgert Books will be releasing content 2 days a week. On Tuesdays, we will be highlighting one of my books, and on Thursdays, we will be creating some fun content about writing. My current books are available either on paperback or an ebook at many sites such as Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. I hope my allegorical stories will impact you in a positive light and will help you find your personal story in life. To kick off our Tuesday, here's an introduction to one of my short stories, Dr. Roger, which is available in ebook worldwide. Enjoy. Dr. Roger? Inquired the maid as she knocked on the other side of the study door. Yes, Patricia, asked Dr. Roger, who was sitting in his chair, intensely staring at an apple on his desk. Patricia, the maid, entered the study with a tea tray and a china set. Your tea, sir. Of course, said Dr. Roger, who still had not taken his eyes off the apple. Patricia cautiously placed the tray next to the apple and turned to leave. Dr. Roger suddenly spoke. What are your thoughts on diseases? Inquired the doctor. I beg your pardon? Asked Patricia, who had never heard such a question before. Your thoughts, said Dr. Roger, on diseases? Well, I believe they're quite dangerous, said the maid. Do you remember the coronavirus? Or influenza? Indeed, said the doctor as he said this, carefully rotated the apple to reveal a black spot on the red skin. He looked up at the maid for the first time and said with a smile, One bad apple spoils the rest. Excuse me? Asked the maid, who was equally as confused as before, if not more so. Thank you, Patricia. That will be all, said Dr. Roger. The maid carefully walked out of the room and was just about to close the door when the doctor said, Watch out, some Honeycrisps may be sweet, but they are imposters. The maid heard him but did not acknowledge the comment. After all, how does one respond to such a statement as that? She closed the door and the doctor smiled to himself. He looked around and observed the various knickknacks he had sitting about the room. A toothbrush, a picture of a lost love, a framed essay on detecting explosives, and of course, his car keys. At that moment, Dr. Roger heard a scream in the street, and he turned and looked out the window. There was a man chasing a small child. Dr. Roger was on his feet immediately and ran down the stairs of his building. He approached them, and Dr. Roger put a hand on the man's shoulder. The man's head turned 180 degrees to face him. His eyes were flashing red. Then a female voice said,
Next-gen explosion in 5 seconds.
The doctor, who had had many experiences with disarming explosives, immediately found a circuit board underneath the man's shirt and ripped out a couple wires, and the entire man crippled. Dr. Roger carefully examined the man. Curious, he murmured. He then turned to the girl who had been chased and asked, Can you tell me what happened here? The girl whimpered and whispered, My daddy. She pointed to the man on the ground, and Dr. Roger sighed. That bomb was your father? He asked quietly. Yes, whimpered the girl. He has never done this before. I have known him all my life, but now he decided to attack me and he scared me. The girl began to cry and Dr. Roger felt sorry for her. I am under the suspicion that was not your father, said Dr. Roger. Do you mind if I take him to my office for examination? A young woman approached the doctor and said, Do what you must. My husband has never acted this way until now. Please return my husband when you finish examining him. I want to bury him. The mother was clearly trying to stay strong in front of her daughter, but her emotions were failing her. Of course, said the doctor. When this is all over, I will return your husband to you. The mother and daughter both held each other and walked away, crying. Dr. Roger, before the appalled crowd, hoisted the body over his shoulder and brought it into his office to be examined. Dr. Roger set the man down on the table and checked the man over with various instruments. 3 things caught his attention. A name tag labeled NextGenet, a quantum fluctuation within the body, and a single neuron attached to the man's jacket. Dr. Roger walked away from the body and smiled to himself. He had an idea of what was going on. All he had to do was a little research. After a few hours, Dr. Roger entered his study again, this time in a suit. He realized for the first time something was going on. The man was sitting on the table, but his left leg was dangling off the edge. It had not been that way before. Dr. Roger carefully approached the man and inspected him for any evidence of a muscle spasm, electrical impulse, or anything else that might explain the sudden change. That's when the man's eyes opened.
So, you're the one who disarmed me?
Asked the man in a harsh tone. Dr. Roger was not startled in the slightest. He merely turned to look at the man and said, "I was wondering if you were awake." The man paused for a second, then said,
You seem to act as if you knew I was alive, Mr. World Saver.
"Of course I knew you were alive," said the doctor smoothly. "The only part that makes you different from anyone else is you are a machine, designed to mimic human characteristics perfectly." The man snarled and said,
Very clever, bucko, but not clever enough.
"And why do you say that?" asked Dr. Roger.
You do not know everything.
Said the man. "You mean about your plot to detonate yourself using a basic quantum mechanic? Do you really think this is news to me?" laughed the doctor.
Of course it is,
Said the man.
because I am a Next Genet, the most powerful quantum bomb ever devised.
"And why do you assume that?" asked the doctor.
Because I was built by IQ.
Said the man with a laugh. The doctor frowned slightly and asked, "Please, tell me about this IQ. Is he a colleague of yours? Perhaps an old friend of mine?"
Are you as dumb as you look?
Laughed the man.
IQ is not a person. IQ is a...
But before the man could finish, the sounds of electricity zapping and electronics failing could be heard within him. A moment later, his system failed, and he died where he stood. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified about future releases. Have a good one.